May 17th, it will be almost 29 years for him to be a political prisoner.
No, he must be very old
Yeah.
at that age. So, what is the process of choosing the Panchen Lama?
See, in Buddhism, what happens is if some abbot or the guru of a monastery dies, if he is reincarnated, a lot of the team from the temple is sent to different locations. Sometimes what happens is the earlier abbot or the head of the monastery, if he is when he dies, sometimes he puts what we say, he showcases some symbols where he will be taking his next birth. Similar to that, there is a team who goes out and looks for the next reincarnation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he heads that team.
Yeah.
Okay. So according to you, what were the steps that were taken at that time by the government in Tibet? Like I'm talking about 1959. Be it negative or be it positive.
See, talking about the negative and positivity, I feel from my own perspective is we were not even in a condition to see either it's a negative or a positive effect for our nation.
Okay.
We were at war with Chinese. China tried to occupy the country, which was more of a religious country. We had only monks and people who worship throughout the country. So we were sent to exile by the government of China. When we came to India, our government's first priority was to give shelter, food to its own people. So rather than thinking of something positivity or negativity at that moment, or thinking from a political point of view, it was first to give at least a shelter or a food, shelter to stay in and a food to keep our stomach full.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were the steps that were taken by Indian government at that time towards the autonomicity of your Tibet?
See, according to a geopolitical situation, India itself was not in a really great condition at that moment. So yet Nehru and other members of the Indian Parliament were able to help a neighboring country because as I see is Aditi Deva Bhava. India has a really different mind of thinking compared to other nations who are nearby us. Aditi Deva Bhava is we always worship whosoever is a guest, they say. So Nehru really appreciated that word and accepted Dalai Lama as his guest. Not only the Dalai Lama, even the people of Tibet, whoever fled to India. People see, a lot of people also fled from China, via Nepal, via Pakistan, via Bhutan. So people were completely scattered at the moment. Not only the government, even the people themselves didn't knew what was exactly happening at that moment. So India being more like the big brother and opening its arms to a country at a situation where they were themselves not well settled and providing everything, it is a really, what do we say, not only a great gesture, but it is something which we can never repay.
Okay. So how has the international community responded to cause of Tibet?
See, due to the global presence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama,
Okay.
the international community has always been a really positive thing. Reason being is Tibetans are asking for the freedom of Tibet, but they are not going out there, they are not picking up weapons and fighting.
Right.
They are following, let's say, the steps of Gandhi. We don't want ahimsa.
Yes.
So we don't want to fight someone. We don't want to see. Even in today's world, if a Chinese is sitting in front of me and we are together, we won't be accusing each other that you have stolen my land, because it is not the people of China who has done that. It is the governance of the China who's done that. So even the people themselves in China, for example, Taiwan, Hong Kong, they themselves are also suffering what is the elected government is doing. So we are a completely different nation at that moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
So speaking of Dalai Lama,
yeah.
how has its leadership affected the political approach or the diplomatic approach of Tibet?
See, whatsoever his approach was and is, we can even see today that a lot of global, what do you say, representatives, even the UN accepts Tibet as a nation. If he has done something wrong, a lot of scenarios would have changed. So that means he has done nothing wrong at that moment.
Yes.
Whatsoever he has done for the nation is working correctly. It is going to a right direction, I feel.
Okay.
Because whatsoever he has done, he is able to put Tibet on a global map. He has been able to show the whole world that yes, Tibet as a country exists, and it will always exist.
Okay. So can you discuss any recent policy changes that have had a significant impact
Yeah.
on the Tibetan people?
Okay, the most recent political change is His Holiness the Dalai Lama uh, has taken an approach of, let's say, we now don't want a free Tibet. We have a different policy. We now need an autonomous region.
Okay.
So, yes, we will be under the Chinese government, Chinese country, but we as Tibet, our autonomous region, will have our own governance,
Okay.
our own representative of people, so that, excuse me, so that our people, whosoever is currently in different countries as a refugee, can go back to their homeland after so many years and say, yes, this is my homeland. This is feel that they are back to their own country, own family, because there are a lot of people who are yet not reunited with their families.
Okay. So speaking of information and education,
Yeah.
what are the initiatives that are taken by the Tibetan government
Okay.
for the next generation of Tibet or the future of Tibet?
Sure. As we talk about Tibet, we in India, the exile government of Tibetans in India, we cannot deny the name Dalai Lama, because whatsoever he and other representatives of the Tibetan government have done is they are able to establish different schools in all over India. So there are huge examples as Tibetan Home School in Mussoorie, uh, Central School for Tibetans, which is known as CST, is the another name of Tibetan Kendra Vidyalaya.
Okay.
Similar to Kendra Vidyalayas, which are all over India, the Tibetan government was, with the help of the Indian government, was able to establish a lot of different Tibetan oriented Kendra Vidyalayas in order to educate the people of the Tibetan community. Apart from that, we have a Tibetan village TCV. So TCV is also a school. Tibetan Home School is also a school. Similar to that, there is another Sambuta as a school. So there are a lot of different schools which have a similar approach. So their single mindset is to educate their community to a better future. So we don't want anyone uneducated at this moment. So whatsoever Dalai Lama says is, until unless we are educated and we don't know what exactly the global scenario is, we won't be able to fight the Chinese.
Does it also include the cultural information also?
Yes. So what happens is, if you roam all around India, there you will be able to see a lot of different monasteries, a lot of different communities and all. So all communities have their own different monasteries inside. So a Tibetan being a Buddhist, a Tibetan being a Muslim, a Tibetan being a Christian, it will be really shocking for you, as I said, Tibetan being a Muslim and a Tibetan being a Christian.
Yeah.
If you go to Kashmir, there are a lot of Tibetan Muslims who were Tibetan representatives even in the parliament of Dalai Lama when it was in Tibet, in Lhasa.
Okay.
So there were a lot of Tibetan Muslims as well who are currently in Kashmir. They are also refugees as well. So similar to that, we have our own religion, Buddhism, not only Buddhism, Muslim, Christianity and everything. And we don't stop our own community people that you are Tibetan, you have to follow Buddhism.
Okay.
So Buddhism is more of a majority and others are minorities. But we don't completely by force them to accept one religion.
Okay. So do you have any message for the next generation of Tibet?
Yeah. My next generation for the Tibetans is, no matter where we are, no matter at what condition we are, we should always firstly accept what we say, whatsoever religion we are following, to always have faith in our religion, firstly. Secondly, always have a better education. Unless you are educated or you are aware of your surroundings, you are not, you